Anyways, Topanga. I will Topanga.
Oh.
Yeah. Topanga, more like would bang ya.
No! Oh, he's just some goon Peter's friends with. Don't worry about him. He doesn't even speak a word of English.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm pretty sure. Hey, jackass, do you understand a word I'm saying to you, or is your brain pierced too? Perfect.
Welcome to the iKnowBadeaux podcast.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the iKnowBadeaux podcast. Coming at you from the Slice on Oak Studios. I am Mayor Dave Badeaux, and with me, as always, is my brother.
It's Mario Final Fantasy.
Yeah, it's getting good. I appreciate where those are going. Hey, Councilman Gabe Johnson's with us as well.
Dave, how are you?
I'm excellent. Did you see this guy?
Hey, John.
How do you know this guy?
I've met him once.
So, with me to my left is one young man named John Miller. John, welcome to the podcast.
Happy to be here, genuinely.
John, 30 seconds to explain yourself. Go.
Well, I born and raised here in Rainier, Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Never left. Do digital marketing here in the area. Sit on the city's park board,
Yes.
and ran against our compatriot here, Gabe Johnson.
Okay,
in the last election cycle.
That's good enough. That's where I wanted to get to. So, John is a usurper, attempted usurper. Gabriel,
Insurrectionist, we called it.
Well, see you later.
Gabriel Johnson, the entire reason why I ran for local government. Gabriel Johnson, councilman, city of Brainerd, all of a sudden gets a notice on his phone that says, "It's on. You're getting ran against. It's on." And it's this son of a bitch right here.
Well, I don't know.
I believe it was, it's on partner.
Well, yeah.
Partner.
I try to keep it, generic, identification. So,
So we can get into more of it later, but I will say attempted usurper, failed usurper. However, turns out kind of a cool guy.
Yeah, turns into
Goodness gracious,
a
man.
protege of sorts.
Like I said, yeah, a lot of time on my hands. So, nothing personal. It was strictly
It was
business.
Taken personal.
Oh, yeah.
And I took that person.
Yeah, and then I took that personally. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is that wonderful week of the month. Everyone knows what time it is.
Game time hoop.
So you guys don't see that, but I put out my fingers. 1, 2, 3. I went to put out my fingers, and I put out 2 fingers. And then instead of trying to save it, I just went 3, 4. Gabe saw it.
I was confused.
I just saw the fingers moving. So,
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to play a game. This is one of our favorite games. It is called That Ain't No Baby.
Oh, boy.
Lampooned edition.
get it.
Ooh. So for Jonathan and for any listeners that may not be familiar, That Ain't No Baby is a game.
He already told you he prefers John.
John.
Ugh, you're the worst kind of autistic.
If you are not familiar, or other listeners are not familiar, That Ain't No Baby is a game we play on the podcast in which we have 2 things. They either are or are not. Either it is a baby or that ain't no baby. Okay. And for this particular game, I have went through and selected National Lampoon themed movies. So way back in the start of 50s, 60s, whenever it was, guys create a magazine, right? Then that brand gets put onto movies. The Animal House, I believe, was the first one, multiple movies through the Vacation series. And then as things went on, various different groups got a hold of the rights to that brand. And by the late 80s or late 90s, early 2000s, the brand had basically just been slapped onto shitty movies to try and make more money. Mm-hmm. So the further you get down the road, the worse these movies get. A lot of them are just made for TV movies and or direct-to-video movies. So what I have crafted here is a game in which I will ask you whether or not these National Lampoon themed or monikered movies are or are not, in fact, a baby. Think we can handle it?
It sounds pretty easy.
Okay,
honestly.
points will be had. A winner will be selected. At some point, we will go head to head to see who the winner is. However, there's one rule on the podcast when we play games, and it's a very important rule. Okay, Jonathan or anyone else,
Or
If
John.
you-
Or John.
or John,
Whatever you prefer.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it now. This is what happens to me. If I get two things and I'm like, okay, we got to figure out which one it is. It's either A or it's B. Kara, whatever the fuck it is. And then I ask, which one is it? And then you tell me which one it is. My brain goes, it's not that one. And then it just keeps going, it's not that one, but it points at the wrong fucking one. And so now you're Jonathan for life.
Well, I mean, that's fair enough. But I'm just trying to save you some time, honestly.
It is more convenient, isn't it?
It is really.
Although you have taken up a lot of time talking about that you're not Jonathan. Okay, here's how this is going to work, John. If you win the game, I'm going to say something to your fans.
Oh.
At which point you must say hello and congratulations. If you do not say or say anything other than hello and congratulations, you lose and I win. So the end of the game happens. I say, John, say something to your fans. You say,
Hello and congratulations.
nailed it. However, you got to remember that because that's the only way that I can win the game. Are we ready for this, folks?
Yes.
Yes.
All
let's
right.
do it.
Once again, this is That Ain't No Baby, Lampooned edition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the synopsis of the movie or just the little blurb from the movie. Then I'm going to give you the date and the title of the film. Then I'm going to tell you who is starring in the film as well. At which point we will ask, is or is not a baby? Question number 1. At South Beach University, a beautiful sorority president takes in a group of unconventional freshman girls seeking acceptance into her house. From 2006, National Lampoon's Pledge This! Exclamation point. Starring Paris Hilton from Pledge This.
That's hot.
Dennis Rodman's 6-day wife. The kid that was high on drugs in the back of the car from Super Troopers.
Freaking out, man.
Is or is not a baby? We'll start with Scott.
False. No baby.
No baby.
That ain't no baby.
And John.
Yeah, I don't think that's a baby.
3 people say that is not a baby. That a baby. Question number 1 is a baby. National
Is
Lampoon's
that Carmen Electra?
Carmen Electra, yeah. So you're going to find that
That's
I
why
have
I thought it wasn't, because she's so old by then she wouldn't be in college.
I have opted to not use the people's names because one of the things we're going to find out as we go further on is that you're not going to know who these people are. You're only going to know what they were previously in. I will also say is because Gabe Johnson's an asshole and likes math too much, I have to randomize these damn questions. So by the time this question would have come up, you would have understood that that's where I was going with things so that we wouldn't have just started off with complete randomness and more laughs would have been had. However, Gabe Johnson sucks at and is too good at math. Everything is randomized. We can't have a fun order.
The next one ain't no baby anyway.
We're going to find out for sure. We're going to find out for sure.
Yeah.
So, question number 1, 0 points to everyone. That is a baby. 0% on the Rotten Tomatoes.
Zero.
0. 18 audience score. So, yeah.
Folks out there enjoyed it.
Yeah, they were definitely into it.
Tens of people.
All right. Question number 2. 3 hapless virgins discover the love Bible hidden in the school library at East Great Falls High, and all hell breaks loose. From 2009, National Lampoon presents The Book of Love. Starring Jock Number 1 from Ned's Declassified, Boris from The Scorpion King 4, and Alfalfa from The Little Rascals.
What?
Gabe, you're going to go first on this one.
That's a baby.
He says that's a baby. Over to John.
I don't think that's a baby.
He says that ain't no baby.
No baby.
Scott and John, you are correct. That ain't no baby. It is actually American Pie presents The Book of Love. So at this point in the
This game sucks.
Yeah, this is,
at this point in the world, we had reached a point where American Pie and National Lampoons were just competing to see who could kick out the shittiest movies.
Yeah.
So, and they kicked out a lot. So
They tied.
they died. They definitely died. Also stars Eugene Levy, by the way.
Well, you
should
should
have
have said that.
well,
Yeah, but that would have gave it away.
yeah.
Okay. Question number 3. 2 college roommates stumble upon a hidden treasure map when they accidentally knock over a bookcase in the library. Together, they embark on a journey filled with quirky characters, offbeat adventures, and unexpected twists. This comedy blends absurdity with a touch of supernatural in a quest for comedic gold. From 2008, National Lampoon presents Unlucky Charms.
These films were all allegedly made in 3 years of each other. This is misery. Where was I when all this happened?
2008.
Keyboarding class.
Oh, hold on a second. Starring Bud from Married with Children, Adam from Workaholics, and the dad from Growing Pains.
That's a baby.
That's a baby, he
That's
says.
a baby, I think. Yeah.
Over to Scott.
No baby.
He says, that ain't no baby. Over
That
to
ain't no baby.
It's wicked, 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 whack.
So this one is completely made up. I actually just made this movie up. I liked the idea that instead of finding a book of, I guess is what you would say, they found a treasure map and went on a quest for.
I mean,
Yeah.
it just sounded like a Harold and Kumar experience. I'm like, yeah, they probably could have just played off Harold and Kumar, and
It does sound like
that,
a Harold and
or-
Kumar
or
experience.
they were inspired by this film.
My favorite joke in Harold and Kumar, and I believe it's from Go to White Castle. It's right at the beginning. They embark on their journey, and then they leave the apartment, and then he says he forgot something, and they look back the hallway, and they've traveled 30 feet. We've gone too far. That movie had me sold at that point. It was not great. Before that, it was like shaving of pubes and a bunch of just nonsense. But, that joke got me. It was the pause, the long look. We've gone too far.
Been there.
Yeah, definitely been there. Scott, you are in the lead. 2-1 to 1. John?
All right. Yeah, I mean, I got to win one of these races.
I don't know.
right?
You've got a history of losing.
Yeah, I'm 0 for 1.
All right, here we go. Question number 4. 3 guys who can't seem to find any luck with women create a fake casting agency to pick up chicks. From 2006, National Lampoon presents Cattle Call. Starring Henry Who's Your Garden from Rookie of the Year,
Who's your garden?
Chelsea Handler from Being Annoying, and the Ooh, What a Lovely Tea Party guy from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Is it Diedrich something?
Yes.
After it's all over, you say, "Oh, what a lovely tea party."
Why would you say Jay and Silent Bob and not the Drew Carey Show?
Because then I get to play the Ooh, What a Lovely Tea Party
All right,
bit.
fair.
Yeah. Scott, I think we are on to you. Is or is not a baby?
No baby.
That's a baby.
That's a baby. That ain't no baby. Over to John.
That ain't no baby.
That ain't no baby. That is, in fact, a baby. National Lampoon presents Cattle Call with
Cattle Call.
Yep.
Why cattle?
I think what you
'Cause
call
they're picking
that.
up chicks.
Yeah, when you bring in a bunch of people for casting, it's a cattle call. So I don't know. It's not a good movie.
No.
I did not hear good.
No?
I did not hear good things. A lot of these were really hard to find actors that I could actually even reference.
Yeah.
This one at least had actors I could reference. So in a lot of these, there were ones that I was like, oh, that's really funny. Because I can't use it. I can't even explain who these actors are that are in this. But
I thought you were going to say National Lampoon presents Casting Couch.
Excuse me? A baking powder?
it's basically what it is.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be the Weinstein story.
It basically is. So yeah, the one guy, it starts off and the one guy comes back and is explaining to his friend how his sister works at a casting agency and there's always a reject pile. And sometimes she'll let him go through the reject pile. And then he'll contact these girls and ask if they want to come back for a second, whatever. And that's how he picks up chicks. And then they decide, well, what if we just did this on our own? And all hell breaks loose.
There's a trend here.
Well, did he come or what?
All right. Gabe and Scott, you are tied. John, you've got one, but are still definitely in.
I'm a late
this.
bloomer. All right.
Question number 5. A teenager enters the competitive world of grocery store bagging. From 2007, National Lampoon's Bag Boy.
That's the whole thing?
Yep.
That's the whole plot synopsis?
Whole plot.
Guy gets job.
Competitive grocery store bagging. I don't think you need to know any more than that. This film stars Brooke Shields' eyebrows and Dennis Farina.
Who's that?
Dennis Farina? Oh, you know, the joke was that you know who Dennis Farina is. Snatch?
I'm Dennis Farina.
Come on.
I'm familiar with the movie Snatch.
You know Dennis Farina.
I'm Dennis Farina.
Disappointed in my
Snatch
cast.
is a very good movie.
I'm very
Fine
disappointed. Dennis Farina does not deserve to be made fun of.
Is he Bricktop?
Is he the American?
He is the American that flies over at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like that guy.
Yeah.
I just didn't know who he was.
I'm Dennis Farina.
What a shoddy show this is. This is ridiculous. What kind of game show are you running?
The tagline from this film is the greatest sports movie ever made, ... about grocery bagging. Really stretching for a home run here on this one. Really trying to get extra bases. Is or is not a baby. I don't remember who, but it is National Lampoon's Bag Boy. Over to Gabe.
It's definitely a movie because you gave us the tagline.
Oh, yeah. That's the first
But I
one
don't know
I've
if
given
it's
a tagline.
National Lampoon.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's kind of the beauty of
That's
it.
a baby.
He says that's a baby. Over to John.
I gotta try to curve it now. I don't know how many questions. I might be running out of time.
Eight total questions.
Okay, well, I gotta say not a baby just for a chance.
He says not a baby.
That's a baby.
That's a baby. From 2007. That's a baby. So, John, you're falling
Just
behind.
digging a hole now. Yeah.
However, there is an opportunity.
Lightning round.
There's an opportunity.
The points don't matter.
Yeah, the
Everything's made up. I get it.
points don't really matter. And thank God it's this game because I actually can't cheat too bad. But typically I just cheat and pick a winner. But that's not completely true. But question number 6. The final question before the semi-round. Before the final round. William Shakespeare's classic tale of love and mischief, A Midsummer's Night's Dream, is reimagined with club kids at a rave in an LA warehouse. Love potions and drug deals gone bad. It's high energy, drug-fueled drama. From 2002, National Lampoon's A Midsummer's Night's Rave, starring the Shermanator, Randall Pink Floyd, and Princess Leia.
Somebody get this big walking carpet out of my way.
I have to go not a baby on that one too.
He says not a baby. Over to Scott.
Not a baby.
Not a baby.
Baby.
Gabe says baby. The correct answer and putting John on the board is That Ain't No Baby. Is in fact a film. Is not themed somehow by either American Pie or National Lampoons.
Who made it?
I don't know. It's just called A Midsummer's Night's Rave.
So it is a baby.
No, it is a movie. It is not a National Lampoon movie. The game is it National Lampoons?
Why don't you go eat that outside and then come up back in?
So that puts Scott in the lead. Scott, you are in the finals. Jonathan, you squeaked your way into the semifinals. Gabe, you have found yourself in the semifinals as well.
This feels great.
Yes. This is question number
Redemption time.
7.
Redemption here. I need this for all my fans.
This time, the turf hits the surf as students of Billingsley U ditch campus life for fun, sun, and high times on the high seas. When the good ship surveyor leaves port for romantic Mexico, rules, inhibitions, and school clothes are quickly cast off as the salty air and skimpy swimwear gets everyone in the mood to mate. All aboard for laughs as the college hotties put the motion in the ocean in this wet and wild romantic comedy.
Good Lord.
From 2006, National Lampoon's Dorm Days.
2.
Starring Office Space's Jump to Conclusion guy, Topanga, and the Shermanator. Is or is not a baby? John, you will get first option here.
That's a baby.
He says that's a baby. Gabe, you must say
That ain't no baby.
that ain't no baby.
I had more points than John, though.
You did have more points than John. However, John is our guest. John, you are moving on to the finals.
okay.
You are moving on to the finals. That is, in fact, a baby. I liked that one because it is Dorm Days 2, which could or could not have been added or removed from National Lampoon, or could completely be just another American Pie movie. I don't think anybody remembers. Do you remember?
I vaguely remember the title.
Yes.
Dorm Days.
Dorm Days, yeah.
Yes.
But no, nothing about that. I definitely don't remember anything about romantic Mexico.
I really appreciate that because when I read it the first time, my brain could not put the two together. I like read that sentence like 4 times. I was like, oh, you're saying Mexico is romantic. I disagree, but okay. Yeah.
Romantic
Maybe
Mexico.
in the early 2000s.
There was something else in there that was weird.
Pretty much.
Pretty much the whole synopsis.
The whole thing, but there were 2 moments that made me raise my eyebrows. The one was romantic Mexico, and then a sentence or 2 later it was
Get ready to mate.
right. Getting ready to mate.
In the mood to mate.
What the fuck?
It's like the first mate. It's sailing theme.
I will also say the salty air isn't getting anybody in the mood to mate. The salty air? I don't know.
It's a cake by the ocean.
It's close to sultry, Dave.
Okay, I get it. I will tell you this though, Topanga. Yeah, you a Topanga guy?
Have you watched these films?
No. How do you not know who Topanga is?
No, I wasn't sure if you were given the lip lick to the for this film. Like, oh my goodness gracious me, this gal.
Movie?
Yeah,
no.
Well, because it seemed like you had watched the other film that was definitely a baby.
I don't know. I don't know if I've seen any of these.
Oh,
but I think I have. I don't know if I've seen this ever,
Okay.
but I will say I'm a fan of Topanga.
Whoa! Swing! 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 That was from Wayne's World. That's the sound of Wayne's boner.
Anyways, Topanga. Hot. I will Topanga.
Oh.
Yeah. Topanga, more like would bang ya. It's been a while. Since the buzzer has happened. I really appreciate just the jump to conclusions guy because you know exactly what I'm talking about. If I said that guy's name, you would have zero idea who that guy is. But I say the jump to conclusions guy, and you have a pretty good idea who that is. So,
Explain yourself, Dave.
Explain myself about that? Yeah. Would bang. Topang would bang. I'm okay with it. I'll double down on the jump. Topang would bang. From Boy Meets World, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
I know there is a generational difference here. I mean, there isn't, by the way.
That's rude. But
no, there isn't. I mean, I think, you're only a few years older than me. So
it just felt
Boy
like
Meets World was right about, the time.
I think maybe, now there's the Girls Meets World.
Right. Yeah.
Her and the boy that met the world have now had a girl and she's meeting the world.
Yep.
That might be more your style. I don't know.
Certainly
sooner.
Fuller House.
Fuller House.
Fuller House. Yeah. All right. Moving on from you, John. Although you have made your way into the finals.
This is kind of a big deal.
Question number 8. Scott, you will get to go first on this.
Okay.
Because you are in the lead and we already screwed Gabe over. So we can't screw both people over. We'll screw Gabe over. Mostly because he already beat John into a bloody pulp. Just beat him down.
Absolutely smoked me.
It was.
You're gonna have a bad time.
I was alarmed.
It was embarrassing.
I was
It
alarmed.
was embarrassing. It was embarrassing.
So we didn't want to do that.
I wouldn't know what it feels like to lose.
Yeah.
You were sweating it out too. So I remember the night you were sweating it out. Yeah. All right, here we go. Let's move on. Question number 8. A pair of losers marry 2 elderly sisters thinking they'll inherit their fortune and Beverly Hills Estates. From 2003, National Lampoon Gold Diggers. Starring the brother from Boy Meets World.
It's a lot. I mean, they're really using the cast here.
The stripper from American Wedding.
Well, they had a target market, and it was Dave.
Yeah. The brother from Boy Meets World, the stripper from American Wedding, and some lady named Renee Taylor. But also the Shermanator.
What the hell?
Scott, it is or is not a baby?
That's a baby.
He says that's a baby. John, that means you got to say that ain't no baby.
It ain't no baby.
Before you say anything, Dave, it's not a baby.
Say it's not a baby.
It's not.
Wrong.
That is, in fact, a baby.
Oh my God.
It is, in fact, a
There's
baby.
no stopping me.
So, Scott, you are the winner. Go ahead and say something to your fans.
Do you remember what I'm supposed to say?
I do.
Oh,
give it a shot.
He messed it up.
Oh, yeah. That is a cancel. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I am the winner. Do you remember what you're supposed to say is not what you're supposed to say. I, in fact, am the winner, and I'm going to lay it up to you, John, see if you can get it.
Hey, congratulations.
So close, but no cigar.
It wasn't?
Hello.
Oh, my goodness gracious me.
And congratulations, ladies and gentlemen.
Unbelievable.
After all that, I, in fact, am the winner. And my God, do you remember what to say? Wow. See you later.
Close.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
See you later. Gabe, when you said that, I was a little nervous that maybe you had seen the film, because the other part of this that I didn't really mention is that there is the potential. Some of these were branded as National Lampoons in some regions and not in others. Some were, I believe there was a couple that are, when they went to video or were not went to video, they took or
Just
removed.
slapped a sticker on it.
Yeah. So specifically the first one with Paris Hilton, the Pledge This, there are multiple covers of that, and the majority of them do not say National Lampoons. However, it is listed as a National Lampoons.
I thought it was not, because I thought you were perfectly balanced with 4 babies, 4 not babies. No. But you went 5 and 3.
I went 5 and 3. I wanted to make sure, because you and your stupid math. I was really irritated because that very first one came up, and I'm like, I'm just going to trust the process, because otherwise he will game it. He will game it every goddamn time. I told you he would do that. So the first one,
wrong this time. I was wrong.
The first one comes up, and I'm like, they're not going to get what I'm even talking about when I say Paris Hilton from Pledge This. It's like, oh, that's not that fucking funny.
Yeah, I'm just thinking back, because I worked at the movie store when that film came out. So I'm pretty sure you're right. I'm pretty sure we did not have the National Lampoon's cover. I mean, I got that one wrong, so I'm making excuses.
No,
but,
that's fine.
Yeah, I think you're 100% correct on that.
The nice thing about this is you lost just as much as everyone else lost. So
That's-
the only winner was me. And everyone that has
I
seen
got
these
cheated,
movies.
so I had
Well, that's true. That's true. He did.
Well, you still could have got it wrong. Let's talk for a little bit just about the process of adding or removing a title to a movie to try and make more sales out of it. It's interesting to me, like when you do the first handful of movies, Animal House, the vacation movies, there's another one in there, Class of 86, I think it is, or something like that. And then there's one other one I can't think of. You crafted a brand, and then you have a brand with your magazine, and it was doing pretty well. You get to like Christmas Vacation, and you've got a pretty good brand at that point. And then you just start deciding to it got sold, right? And then that first group is like, okay, well, we're still going to do like Vegas Vacation. But by the time you get to that third group, then you're doing Christmas Vacation 2 straight to video, where we should really talk about this movie because it's all about Cousin Eddie. And Cousin Eddie goes on a Hawaiian or an island vacation, gets shipwrecked like Gilligan. I think their boat like floats away. Like of all fucking things, their boat floats away. But it's Christmas themed. So they do a Christmas Hawaiian themed movie with Cousin Eddie. I think that right there tells you that you've hit rock bottom in terms of a brand.
Well, you still had legitimate actors willing to take on the roles, at least.
Yes. So, super fun fact about the last movie, Gold Diggers. According to IMDb, here's a fun fact for you. Gold Diggers is one of only 6 theatrical wide releases in the past 25 years to average less than $600 per theater on its opening weekend. So it was a wide release. Per theater, it only made $600 average for the whole weekend.
Man, you are one pathetic loser. No offense.
Only 6 in the last 25 years. Now, who knows when that was written as well? I didn't check to see when that was written, but only 6 times has a movie made it to theaters in wide release, and people are like, you know what? I'm just not.
Oh, just films in general.
Yeah, movies in the theater in general. Yeah. Only 6 times has that happened where in the opening weekend they've made less than $600 per
Well,
theater.
they count Thursday, right? So you got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You have 4 days. $600 is 100 tickets 20 years ago.
Yeah, probably.
That's 20 tickets in 4 days. You're probably screening it 12 times.
And when did this film come
So
out?
that was 2003.
Yeah,
So that's before the complete collapse. Because this is because Van Wilder is right around that exact same time.
Is it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was, but that was like a anomaly.
Yeah.
Van
Oh,
Wilder.
yeah. Well, because then it was. Yeah. Then they did the spin. I mean, it was spinoff upon spinoff of Van Wilder after that. But.
Yeah, but you're also coming right off of American Pie as well. So American Pie is what, 99, and Van Wilder. Let's look up Van Wilder real quick and just see when that was.
Is it 99? I just watched that.
I believe
American
it
Pie,
is.
I think it is 99.
I believe it is. So Van Wilder is 2002. So it's the very next year. So this would have been the next
From
film.
1999?
No. From
You were really stoned in high school.
National Lampoon's Van Wilder is 2002. Right. Gold Diggers is 2003, using the same moniker. And
yeah, so that makes it a lot more interesting because Van Wilder was seemingly a very big success.
Yeah, and then the same people come out with another movie and just nobody sees it.
Nobody. I'd love to look at like the data and see like there had to be one town where just like every kid went to see.
Well, right, you and your homies went and saw Gold Diggers. Yeah, you were the 600 or 599. You got a discount or whatever. Let in.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
The cover? Oh
no.
That was. I'm like, there's a mom and a kid on this. This is the strangest thing ever.
Part of it has to be that you're also probably right in the middle of Boy Meets World, right? So like the brother and the Shermanator? I don't know. I'm not seeing it. Yeah, I just can't believe it. By the way, the Shermanator's name is Chris Owen. So that dude, holy hell.
Accepts every possible role.
I'm really surprised. Like, obviously fell off a cliff, but before his cliff dive here, let me see if I can pull up just what his roles were, because I was actually really impressed at the movies this guy has been in. He was doing very well for himself for quite a while. So let's go back to one of his first ones. He starts off with, I mean, he's quite a ways down the list. I shouldn't say starts off with, but you would obviously remember Can't Hardly Wait, She's All That, October Sky, American Pie, Good vs. Evil, Ready to Rumble, American Pie 2, obviously. He was in Van Wilder, had 3 films, and then was in Gold Diggers.
Oh, he's also in a Midsummer Night's Rave.
Midsummer Night's Rave.
It all just comes full circle.
That's actually how I found Midsummer Night's Rave.
Oh.
Because I was clicking on
You're
him
like,
and
yeah,
I
what
found
is
it.
the Shermanator been in?
Okay, so if I'm being completely honest with you, I wanted him to be in every single film, but there just wasn't enough good National Lampoons. Okay, favorite National Lampoon movie?
I mean, it has to be Van Wilder for me. Just
okay.
Because, I mean, it's a coming of age story, you know. In 2002, I would have been 12, so the demo's about right.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, pop the VHS in, you know, that was right around Revenge of the Nerds 3, I think.
Okay.
You know, I mean, it was what a coming of age story. Plus, you know, what was it? Was it Taj or Raj was the homie?
Taj.
Yeah, because they made a film, Rise of Taj, after that. Right?
Yep. And then they made a third one that's something about a dictator. Yeah, I can't argue with that because I actually think that is, in terms of, okay, is it a great movie? Probably not. But in terms of, at the time, that was a very successful movie that demographic really, really loved. So I'll take it. Scott, favorite National Lampoon movie?
Loaded Weapon 1.
I thought that would be the one.
I love that movie.
Thought that would be the one.
Spoof movies are my thing.
Yes.
And that one's okay.
Yeah, it does a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some pretty funny parts in it.
Yeah.
We've talked about it before.
Yeah, I also like that it is Loaded Weapon 1, which is just a great way of doing things. There's no Loaded Weapon 2.
Yeah.
You came right out and we're like, this is going places. We are going to be around for a long time. Gabe, what do you got?
Going with the late, great Doug Kenny, Animal House.
Okay, I appreciate that as well. Animal House just really set the tone for an entire generation of movies, I think. It completely changed the way that they viewed making comedies. And there's some really bad ones.
And that's all Doug Kenny. He took it from Harvard, had Life magazine by the National Lampoon Brand, and then he developed the magazine up to the point where he could make a feature film. And knocked it out of the park.
Yeah. Do you know what year the actual magazine started?
I don't.
I think it's 60s. I said 50s, but I think it's 60s.
It was just at Harvard for a long time, like P.J. O'Rourke and whatnot.
Yeah, it was the Harvard Lampoon.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't know when it started.
Yeah, I was going to use because there's a documentary that came out, I guess now it's almost freaking 10 years ago. I think it came out in 2015, but specifically about it. And it's a pretty good movie. But it has an awesome title, and I forget what it is. But I was like, oh, that's fucking perfect. However, of anyone in this group, Gabe would potentially know of that one. So
yeah, Doug did. He did National Lampoon, then he did Caddyshack, and then he jumped off a cliff in Hawaii and changed cinema forever because Animal House, Caddyshack, and Airplane was in that time too. But those three movies really changed where comedy went.
Yeah, and with Harold Ramis as well. Yeah, it's just a different style of filmmaking that it really made some shitty stuff in the 80s then, because there's some really, really, really bad movies that try to do the same thing. But it's just a fun way of doing a movie. And then you look at like Van Wilder, and it's kind of just an homage, a remake of the same concept that is pretty fucking good.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
Like I said, it had, during that time, it had everything that all the other films were doing, but Ryan Reynolds was great.
I was going to say, but also Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
So, yeah. If I had to pick one, I love Christmas Vacation. I just, every year I watch it, but that probably doesn't count because it's a Christmas movie. But it probably is. I have a soft spot for Vegas Vacation. Not that it's a good movie.
I saw it in the theaters.
But I saw it in the theaters. Yeah. You know, it was right at that time when we were watching every movie that came into the theater. So I have a soft spot for that movie. I do find it really weird that they always change the kid, though. Like, the kids are always different, and that just bugged the fucking shit out of me. Like,
well, when you're 10 years apart, you can't.
It is true. It is true. But, you know, I know. The adults all stay the same.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. That about does it for that game. I, of course, am the winner, which is something that doesn't happen often, but when it does, what a treat for you, the listener and the viewer. John, you did okay.
I'm a little disappointed with the performance. You know, we had a game plan, weren't able to execute. Honestly, I'm just disappointed in the team.
Well, it's kind of becoming your MO.
Yeah, a lot of losing. It's a lot of losing.
How
could one man
shoulder this many losses?
This many. It's too much. It really is.
Like heartfelt moment here on the podcast. I find it really interesting that, so just to like overshare, you approached me one night. I think I was bartending at the time, and you had been drinking, but you hadn't been drinking like excessive amount. But we were in the bar.
Believe me, I recall this.
Well, I know, but I wanted to
I can imagine myself at 9th Street. Yeah.
So John approached me and had some concerns and said like you wanted to get involved with the city. And I later have expressed this to you that from my perspective, it was like, you are just one of the 1,000 people that have fucking done this. Everyone drinks and then tells me how they want to be involved and do all this. So I was just like, who is this fucking guy? Okay. Yeah, sure. You know what, dude? Hit me up and we'll get started. And then when you ran against Gabe, Gabe and I ran into you downtown.
Yep.
We walked up and we were talking to you. And I really enjoyed John. Now, enjoy the hell out of it. But it was awesome, the interaction between the guy that is now running against a guy and the guy that you were scorned by.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely stained because and the other thing was, so as the story goes, yeah, we were down on 9th Street. It was you guys after a council meeting, I believe.
Okay.
And it was during the water tower scenario. Mm-hmm. I was like, and I was told,
yes, it was
to contact you because you had picked that. And I was like, man, I'm really passionate about this.
Yeah.
I want to be a part of this. And I was working for this publishing business, and I didn't have any fulfillment in my life at the time, right? Like I was traveling the country, doing all this stuff, but it's like, man, home.
Yeah.
They're talking about tearing down our thing.
Yeah, the Beacon of the North.
And so, I wanted to get involved. So I stopped. I gave you my phone number, and then I had whatever I had that like nasal thing. I don't know what the heck that's called when they fix your bridge or whatever.
Sure.
So I was laid up for like 2 weeks.
Why won't this guy call me?
And I'm like, look, I have just, agonizing over the fact that I was like, what is going on? And so then I saw you again. And that second time I was like, swear to God, you better call me, Dave. You're like, oh, it's pinned to my cork board in the office. And I'm like, I know guys like this. I know these people. And then after that, I was like, you know what? I'm running against Gabe. I'm going to teach the mayor a lesson.
I love that I almost fucked over Gabe.
You could have ran against Dave. He didn't have anybody running against
Nobody
him.
runs against me because you can't beat me.
Yeah, no.
It's impossible.
And, I didn't know anything about it, right? Like, I hadn't been involved.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to channel any of it. And so, like, when you look back, maybe I should have ran at large, but like
you definitely should have ran.
I just love that, like, from my perspective, you were just another dude, right? It was just another guy. And because we were in the bar and it happened, Gabe will attest this. I don't go out anymore because we go, you're sitting down, you're having a drink, and all that people do is come up and they want to talk to you.
Talk shop, yeah.
And they want, and it's never something awesome.
It's never, hey, you're doing a great job.
Yeah, you're really slaying it.
You know what sucks? Let's talk while I'm drunk. And you weren't overly drunk, but I honestly, I did pin it to the corkboard because I am at least that guy.
Whatever you say.
However, I was not going to call you back.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And that's what I mean. That's what's tough about it is nowadays, like, to discourage people from that. It's reaching out to people like leaders in the community and then not having that sort of feedback, right?
It's true.
And you can Google whatever you want, like, how can I help or how can I do this or whatever, but the only people that you can really talk to, and again, I didn't go into like any of those service group like meetings or anything like that. So it was like the only thing I have is on the city website.
You did it right.
I think so. You did it right. Somebody did it wrong.
You ran a good campaign. You did the door knocking. You did the door hangers.
Did everything you should have.
I don't know how you didn't at least get past the primary. I don't know. But big props to you, Jonathan, because a lot of people would lose and say, all and you signed up. You're on the park board, doing a great job there.
I said that at the beginning of the campaign, right? It was more about just finding a way to get involved, and you know what? If we instill a little bit of like revitalize your interest in government in the same way, that was important to me. I'm not saying that you were necessarily doing a bad job at the time, but it's like, you know what? If you don't feel like you're bulletproof,
feel a little squeeze.
Then hey, look, can we maybe do it? And then being able to work with you guys has been.
So on the campaign trail, when you mentioned repeatedly something about returning phone calls, that wasn't a dagger at me. That was
That was him. It was 100% him. I was so.
I kept saying, where did this guy call me?
Not ever. It was him. It was 100% him. But I was like, look, and I think again, when you look at across the community, across the country, everybody gets bucketed in, right? You do it to me. So did Gabe, because he's part of the same government. He's part of the same institution.
It's true. It's tough. I will say it's tough. I have to screen all my phone calls. I tell people that now. Give me a call. You have to leave me a message because I cannot answer my phone because you have to put yourself in the right mind. It's not that I don't want to listen to what people have. I believe firmly you should be able to pick up the phone and call me and complain about anything that's going on in the city because
I won't answer.
Well,
I think you should be able to call me.
And I'll never call you back, but you should be able to call.
For the most part, I call people back. But I have to screen my phone calls because you get a lot of nonsense. You get a lot of people that think I can help with issues that I can't. Those people I typically do not call back. I typically will either say, you need to call so-and-so, or the problem is every phone call is 45 minutes. It's never a 5-minute conversation. It's always 45 minutes. And you can't just pick up your phone and say hello because I never know what I'm walking into. And it's never pleasant. I very rarely do I pick up my phone and they're like, I just want to say thank you. And you're doing a great job. See you later. It's always, and again, the one that got me and really, really, really turned me like a 360 was about
same direction.
Yeah, you just kept going.
I just totally kept going.
I did. I looped around them and moved on. Okay. So they're here. I did this. Anyways, I'm an idiot. Was the lady that called about her grandson's not being able to get into a dentist. It was like, what do you want from me? What do you want from me? What do you want me to do? You want me to call every dentist? What am I supposed to do?
Call every dentist.
Call every dentist? Come on, man. Leave me alone. Like that was the one where I was like, actually, leave me alone. But I appreciate, here's what I want to say about you, John, and I really thank you for coming on. You're in line to probably be the park board president now. Like that's where you are in your world. You jumped into the park board. You're probably in line. It maybe not this time, but the next time probably for sure. You're not a guy that was who I thought you were. I thought you were just the guy that wanted to, I want to be involved. Cool. But then just be involved. It's kind of how I always feel about it. Then just be involved, right? But you called us out.
Well, in my own way, I suppose.
But then stepped up and are doing a great job. So I really appreciate
that. Yeah. And like I said, I mean, now you return my calls. So, I mean, mission accomplished. I did
now
it.
you're part of the team.
I did it.
Yeah. Now you're on the podcast.
Yeah. I'm on the
And
podcast,
if you're going to be the park board president, I get to make you feel like
don't worry, I already do. So I have to stop answering. I have to screen my calls out too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry to talk about city business, but it's fun. It's kind of fun. That interaction has been one of my most enjoyable that has happened because it really was like, oh shit, that's you. Oh yeah.
And it's such a load off knowing it was you. Not
Yeah.
really.
Oh yeah. Like I said, you guys again. I said it at the beginning. Nothing personal. It wasn't personal against him. It was against you.
Listen, these fucks won't call anybody back. Meanwhile, I have 4 people to call back right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, I like it. I like those games. It could have went a little bit better. We try to make them as fun as possible, as funny as possible. But I do like the That Ain't No Baby game because it opens up a breadth of options. This is ridiculous. The whole reason I wanted to do it was because of Christmas Vacation 2. because I had no idea that it was a tropic Gilligan's Island situation. As soon as I read that, I was like, okay, what else don't I know? And I tried like finding a number of how many of these are, and it's tough to get an actual count because some places won't count the directed DVD, some won't count the TV movies. It's endless. It's like 60 films that have that moniker on there, and it's all because a group bought it and we're just licensing it out to make a quick buck. But it's funny because there are some really good movies at the beginning of it, and then by the end, I can't even tell you who the actors are. There were ones that I couldn't use because I was like, I can't even explain to you who these actors are. So thank you to Jonathan.
Happy to be here.
Thank you to the Boutros.
Yes, of course.
And thank you to the councilman.
Hey.
We will be back next week with Don't Tell Scotty He Does Weird News. You got anything?
I'll try my best to not do a lot of poop stuff.
And he'll do poop. Thanks again, ladies and gentlemen. And then, of course, coming back up is 1999, Be Kind Rewind. So shoot us over all of your bombings, all of your hot Olympic takes from 99. I know. And, of course, the movies as well. If there is a movie you'd like us to take a look at, let us know. We'll have to see if there's any stuff in there from 1999 from some National Lampoons.
I have already watched American Beauty. I'll be talking about that. Spoiler alert, Kevin Spacey's a bit of a creep.
All right, well, and with that, stay tuned. I think we'll have you back.
Yeah. I'd be happy to come back. Maybe a little bit more of an interesting segment, I
guess. Jesus Christ.
Spoken like a loser.
Yeah.
This sucks. I thought you let the guest win every time.
Well, enough of that.
Instead, you just steal the wins.
Oh, come on!